According to some new polling, North Dakota is poised to pass a Fetal Personhood amendment to their state constitution. For those of you who don't know, fetal personhood is, of course, this radical idea that ends up banning all abortion. But the story behind this is really telling, because even the most conservative states up until now have not been able to pass fetal personhood measures. So, for example, Oklahoma is one that couldn't do it. Even Mississippi, which is arguably the most conservative state in the country, they weren't able to do it. But North Dakota is being very, very sneaky about it, and they might get it through. Quote, Amendment 1 may be flying under the radar because it doesn't specifically mention abortion, birth control, or contraception. It's an extremely vague measure saying only that the inalienable right to life of every human being at any stage of development must be recognized and protected. So they just use this very broad, generalized language for this simple idea that everybody basically agrees with, that, just every human being at any stage, that's the key part, needs to be recognized and protected. So this could end up impacting policies ranging from inheritance rights to end-of-life care, even in vitro fertilization. Because the way it's worded, again, you're making it so that an egg is equal to a human being. Now, keep in mind, they're not just doing this for the sake of the state of North Dakota, even though this is a law that they're pushing for in North Dakota. The actual move here is to get this on the books and then immediately challenge Roe versus Wade again. So that's the goal, and we see this all the time in many of the red states. The idea is you pass a law or you get a constitutional amendment at the state level that directly contradicts Roe versus Wade, and then you go all the way up through the court system again, and then you get to the Supreme Court again, and then since the Supreme Court today is more conservative and they lean right, there's a chance that if they don't totally strike down Roe versus Wade in the subsequent cases, that they'll continue to chip away at it, and they'll continue to move in a further right-wing direction and ban more abortions or give more leeway to the states to take insane steps and measures to try to get to that conclusion. And the sad thing is, we've discussed this before, but so many red states have almost already succeeded in their states to ban abortion. So they do these things called TRAP laws, which actually stand for the Targeted Restriction of Abortion Procedure laws. And what they do is they purposely over-regulate to take these clinics and make them shut down, which I know is so ironic because it's always the conservatives who argue that regulation is evil, regulation is wrong, regulation is bad, and then they use regulation for nefarious purposes. So one thing they do is they'll tell a clinic, hey, you need to get hospital admission rights in order to be a clinic and to function in the state. And then what do? They make them go to like a Catholic hospital. And the Catholic hospital's like, we're not going to give you anything. You're doing something that we disagree with. Or they'll fuck up the time restrictions. So they'll say, you need to get a permit within 2 weeks. And then they'll go to the place and they'll say, the permit process takes 5 months. So you can't get it within 2 weeks. It's another way to shut them down. Or they'll have people go into these abortion clinics with tape measures. They'll measure the length of the hallway, the height of the hallway, and they'll be like, oh, your ceilings are 12 feet high. Well, we just passed a law that says they need to be 14 feet high. So either knock down your building and redo it all, or we're shutting you down. So again, these are all attempts. And the craziest thing about it is they're oftentimes so clever and tricky with the wording that to an outside observer, they might casually accept the regulation. Like one example of that is they'll make the clinics have surgical rooms, like rooms that you could actually perform surgeries in. But what they don't tell you is that certain clinics, they don't even do the surgeries there. Like, they'll have some places that all they do is give out the Plan B, the morning after pill, or they'll have places where it's just for consultations, et cetera, et cetera. But they say, no, every room needs to be like a room for surgery. And then you have conservatives and Republicans, they fall right into the trap because they're more inclined to be anti-abortion anyway. And they're like, yeah, why would you be against safe regulations to just make it safe for these women when they get an abortion? What are you talking about? How could you not be in favor of this? Again, not knowing that, this is a total trick, that they're just purposely over-regulating to make it so that these places go out of business and they can't keep up. So we're seeing this all over the place, but now they're going a step further in North Dakota because the idea is get a fetal personhood amendment, and then we'll challenge Roe versus Wade and we'll try to get rid of it.